Dear Diary, I'm really trying to limit my Drake content here on Curtis King TV for 2025. But this nigga tripping again. He gonna cut his hair off, acting like he wasn't the toxic ex that broke the relationship up, blaming everybody except for his damn self, talking about some new year, new me. What are we doing here? Sincerely, Curtis King.
Curtis DIY.
Okay, DIYers, welcome back to another episode of Curtis King Reacts. I'm your host, Curtis King. Your boy, Drizzy Drake, decided to leak, or at least give permission to leak to Conductor Williams, this Fighting Irish freestyle, where it's an extended verse that finds Drake and Drake fans grabbing for nostalgia and dodging accountability like an Olympic sport. We meet Drake here sitting by a fireplace. It's very Drake-ish of him. And he's talking here about, I guess, some of his reflections after the battle. When this was recorded, who knows? He still got the braids. What is it, the braids? He still has the braids. And he is full of regret. And I'm going to just play this.
I'm recording.
The lack of self-awareness is crazy right now, but y'all go off. Get to the damn freestyle.
I love you.
Yeah, the summer is over, I missed it. Barrel was smoking, I kissed it. Fair showed us the rent is for Texas, it's unrealistic. Cut him the check, cause I hate reviewing the budgets and limits. Just pay the man. The world fell in love with the gimmicks, even my brothers got tickets. Seemed like they loved every minute. Just know the shit is personal to us and it wasn't just business.
So, first and foremost, if we're just judging the music by itself, it sounds like this is a classic Drake collaboration with a very soulful R&B-ish type of sample where he's getting back into his Ishin rhyme scheme that we're going to talk about, his ignition, technician. We're going to get into all of that. But this seems like this is an ode really to the simpler times, the simpler Drake, the Drake with the fade, the Drake with the melodies, not when he act tough. But we're already starting to get a few of the lines that people are kind of putting underneath a magnifying glass. And I mean, that's just the time we're living in right now, by the way. I know some folks are like, man, y'all look into everything. That's the time we're living in. That's what happens when you put your lyrics on display for a battle. Anyways, people were alluding to these lines specifically about buying tickets to a show and buying into the gimmicks as being sort of a shot at the DeMar DeRozans of the world who went to the pop-out show, the LeBron Jameses, of course, of the world who went to that show. And it just sounds like this is him, writing into his diary and getting these thoughts off, but making sure that you as the viewer are able to join in. Continue, Drake.
Analyzing behavioral patterns is somewhat suspicious. Niggas was never happy for me when I run up the digits, or when I'm breaking world records still as I guzzle a Guinness, or when I get my fifth made back cause the color is different.
This is somebody who's been in the game and has dominated for 15 years, sounding very copish. Sounding like someone who like his entire success was a lie. No, you have been celebrated many of times to the point where some people felt like, is it accurate? Well, I mean, one has to look at all the sales. One has to look at, the thing about Drake, in my opinion, and I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but I'm able to recognize the skill and talent and the uniqueness of someone. The thing about Drake and his team of ghostwriters, they know how to create aesthetics. They know how to create aesthetics that feel like a popping ass Pinterest page. I know about Pinterest because of my wife, but it's like they know the aesthetics. They know the things to say, the ways to say them, the ways to present them, right? Even down to the merchandise. They've done a great job of that. But it's also, too, what I call the hypnotization of the listener, where if you're not really listening in deep and you start to really think about the person that's delivering them, it's not the actual art here. It's the person that's delivering it being full of so much contradiction. But we're only 58 seconds. Let's go.
Remember we traded watches, I gave you the Arabic dial, you gave me a numbered edition. You would even check up on my son like a pediatrician. Sure convinced the gang that shit was rooted in love when it isn't. Showed me how different we are, there's blessings in juxtaposition. I guess now you boys gotta abandon your summer tradition. Cold shoulders I gave in the Hamptons, it come with the distance.
How many words got istance? Now, I know that there are lyricists out here who prefer this approach. They look at this and they say that it's very impressive to continue a rhyme scheme on for as long as he is. I got a theory on this. All right. You know that ever since that news broke that he was working with the team of writers and ghostwriters and all that, I was like, I'm off the Drake train. That's not for me. I like to listen to artists that in very much in a way that he seems to be presenting this, are writing from the soul, writing from their art. And of course, people get assistance. People, get help with choruses and get help with ideas and themes and ways to improve. That's cool. Coaching is amazing. But sharing personal feelings is a personal experience. And so when I hear this, I think that when he gets into this suspicious and issues and licious and flicious and initious and ignition, I think he's actually right now. Because that's an easier approach. You can literally make a list of all these rhyming words, and we'll talk about that. But I feel like when he starts to get into these more complex or more varied rhyme schemes, maybe perhaps another pen is involved. Who the hell knows? We're only a minute into this.
Figured we was always gonna be close like ovens and kitchens. I was sadly mistaken.
I figured we was always gonna be close like ovens and kitchens. Yeah, he wrote that.
Loyalty wasn't a given. It's all good.
You know, he gotta sit by the fireside. He gotta sip that wine, whatever the hell, the spritzer. That spritzer. He gotta sit. He gotta do the Drake thing. He's draking. He's draking and driving right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's really draking and driving right now.
Tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
He trying to give you that old feeling back. He trying to make sure you know. Can't care about them not like us. We had a thing. We used to be so far gone. Now y'all gone so far. Continue, Drizzy.
And niggas cry the blues for you saying it wasn't malicious. Talking about we family, well, I'm not the cousin to visit. God forbid we ever gotta tarnish your public image. All that brother talk as if I...
Issues, that's you I got. You still family, well, I'm not the cousin to visit. It'd be a shame if we had to tarnish your public image. Like, those are not the exact words, but the idea is what bothers me. You've gone through this experience that obviously is sounding to me like maybe it'll take him years to realize how traumatic of a turn of events this has been over the last X amount of months. But it seems like he's still in a place where he doesn't understand. It seems like he lacks the self-awareness of why the tides have changed so dramatically, why culture has shifted in another direction, why the culture chose Kendrick. I think he's having issues understanding that. And it doesn't seem like the circle that's around him has either a greater understanding or is just protecting those things and calling everybody else haters. But it's issues like this. It's like, no, this doesn't fall on everybody else. This is a you thing. This is a you thing. This is something that's always existed. It was just a very silent conversation. Now it's brought to the forefront. He doing it again, y'all.
Really discovered a sibling. 6 degrees, my memories retrieving our humble beginnings. Niggas wanted trouble, grabbed a shovel and dug up some ditches. Cover my body in dirt, but that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was a body.
First of all, wait a minute. We didn't even acknowledge this. The Fighting Irish freestyle. The hell are we freestyling? How you freestyle off your phone?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
How you freestyle off your phone? I know the freestyle word has been bastardized. I know I'm being a purist when I say this, but damn it, where's the freestyle? Ain't no damn freestyle. That ain't no damn freestyle. But he read it off his BlackBerry. I mean, he read it off right now off of his phone. Let him get his personal thoughts off. Leave him alone, Curtis. I'm sorry.
Double and we've done dozens of switches. Niggas tried to light the front gate up, it wasn't for Christmas. I said a prayer that morning for Sean and it wasn't religious.
So I guess he's referring to the shooting. They tried to light up the front lawn, but it wasn't for Christmas. That's a dope line. Like, there's a few of these in here that I think initially made me listen in the very beginning to a Drake and say, okay, this is interesting, right? At the time, there were different types of rappers that were kind of making a more complex approach to things, right? When you think about the Jay-Z's, when you think about the Nas's of that time, there was a different approach. He came in with a very simplistic approach to things. He kind of found a healthy balance between the reign of a 50 Cent and the reign of a Jay-Z, and he found a medium that even kind of tapped into the Lil Wayne appeal in his own simplistic way. And I feel like this is getting back to those. Some of these lines are working. I don't know about, we was close like ovens and kitchens. Why is kitchens plural? I'm just playing. Continue.
It came from a place of desperation and utter submission. Rapping was over for now. It came like a sudden decision. I don't give a fuck about you snakes or these other musicians.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Don't stop it. Yeah, you do.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth,
do.
and I'm gonna tell it.
You's out here in these streams calling mustard or custard.
Mustard!
You sound...
I remember you was conflicted.
Stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a writer myself, I understand, like, there's been so many songs that I have written over time. Got my emotions out, and then I tried to even lie to myself in the actual verse. None of these people even matter to me. I don't even give a damn. Yes, I do, because I wrote it down. I thought about it. I strategized about it, and now I'm repeating it by a fireplace. Continue.
Niggas started fucking with my family, I'm going to prison. And we all crashing out together, my brother's complicit. Who put a pipe bomb in your trunk? It was an exhibit.
Is that a Pimp My Ride reference? See, Drake's with the culture. He knows the culture. Exhibit and you know what I'm saying? Who put a pipe bomb in my trunk? It was an exhibit. How would I know that if I wasn't part of the culture, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, you missed that one? It's over your head? Rewind it and slow it down. This is hilarious.
I'm trying to blow the doors off that bitch when you touch the ignition. But then I gotta remember who made this shit come to fruition. It's me. Who's got the most to lose and who's in that other position? Signal conversations where I hope they got double encryption. I hate to see the empire crumble on judges' convictions. This nigga pulled a rap.
Oh, see, this might. So maybe this was before the lawsuit, because I hate to say empires crumble off a judge's conviction. Maybe this was before the lawsuit. He started getting real dracarian in here. I probably wouldn't have mentioned nothing about no judges, especially when I know I got a pending case or a petition for a case with UMG and Spotify. But, you know, that's just me.
Have it out there, had it, y'all love a magician. It's funny to see you all rejoicing and hugging and kissing. What are we celebrating? I'll rent out the club at Edition.
We celebrating the culture. That's what all the hugging. It's funny. You want to talk about all the hugging and kissing. You standing on stage. I think you see too bad. I think people are celebrating the culture. I think they're celebrating variety. I think they're celebrating R&B singers getting a place to just be R&B singers and not having to see rappers follow your footsteps and be hybrids of raps and R&B. I think they're seeing the culture be celebrated in a different way. There are people right now who are celebrating the West Coast having an opportunity to have a voice in everything that is going on. And, you know, the domination of the South, and shout out to Southern hip hop. Southern hip hop has held it down for 25 years plus. The West Coast hasn't really had a consistently thriving reign since probably the mid 90s. We're talking about an era of Snoop Dogg, and we're talking about an era of artists that were dominating at that time. Even the 2010s, you're talking about the blog era. We talked about a little bit of this in my Joey Badass breakdown, but it's like, there's a lot to celebrate right now. I'm a West Coast artist myself, and I'm seeing so many folks right now that are locked in and on go because they see that the window is open and there's an opportunity. So maybe he's talking about the people that he befriended and they seem to be celebratory, but it's like maybe they're not all in a position to feel bad for themselves or to blame everybody else. Maybe those folks just generally feel like, hey, it's good to see a little variety in the game, but those are just my thoughts.
Nothing was the same with all you bitches and nothing's forgiven. But next time, bury me in gold. My blood is Egyptian.
Shout out to Justin. This one had me cracking up.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
I know about Exhibit. I know about Pimp My Ride. You know what else? Bury me in gold. My blood is Egyptian. Did you ever question my blackness? No, none of y'all ever question my blackness. See me sitting by this fireplace, summoning the voices of my ancestors. Please understand, I know what's going on. My blood is Egyptian. In a song called Fighting Irish, does anybody see the irony?
Dennis James come out when the vodka is flooding my system. I don't have a drinking problem, I got a subtle addiction.
Is that a Meet the Grams response? I don't got a drinking problem. I got a subtle addiction. That sounds like we're in the. What are the stages of grief? What are stages? You know what I'm saying? Isn't it like a denial? Isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Like what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up. What are the stages of grief? What is it? Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. It seems like right now we're around that bargaining era still. It seems like he can't make his way out that bargaining one. Bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. Hopefully we can get to there by the end of 2025. It don't seem like we head in that direction. Continue, Drakeisha.
I got my father's habits and I got my mother's permission. My dad has another child. I told him that wasn't my sister.
So this is a response to Meet the Grams, but it's interesting that in the midst of him talking about family that switched up on him, he switches up on family. In my opinion, why are you bringing your pops into this conversation? Why are you bringing your pops and his alleged illegitimate child that you don't want to call your sister? What are we doing here? What is?
Grew up with dozens of Jews, churches with dozens of Christians.
Why are you bringing pops into this? There is blame going all the way around to former friends who turned on him, to people in the industry and musicians that turned on him, to now looking at his family in a different light. It's everybody else's fault except for yours. The lack of accountability is insane right now, man. But this sounds good.
Christians also developed a deep respect for the Muslim religion. I'm staring at my daddy while y'all tell me I wasn't that nigga.
Am I reading this wrong? So the man puts his pops on blast for information that I didn't have any idea of. I'm not even concerned about it. I really try to stay away from the gossip shit here. Gives us information, throws him under the bus, and then turns around and uses him for his blackness and to remind you like he's still that nigga. And he look right at he ain't looking at nobody but he looking at you, Kendrick. That's crazy.
That's fucking crazy.
He agrees.
That's crazy. That's as far as I got.
That's as far as I got.
I push the button. Boom. Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
That's as far as I got. This feels so performative. It feels so much like I need y'all to understand. Like I really did write this. I really did write. I be writing just because I tried to turn this whole music thing into Target, and I tried to get on my CEO. Don't mean I don't be writing. I be writing. Drake, we could tell. At least I can tell, especially as someone who writes my own music. I could tell. I thought this post here by Whooping Feet was really interesting, and and just just for context and for clarity, Whooping Feet is not always the most positive Drake format or platform. They do a lot of of course, a lot of pro Kendrick content, but I did think this was really funny. So Whooping Feet says, I asked ChatGPT, which is obviously AI assistant and whatnot, said to make me a 16-bar freestyle like Drake, and it gave me all the bars that end in shun. That's why Drake was reading off the phone in his freestyle, air quotes. When his ghostwriter's not around, he just used ChatGPT. Oh no. This can't be the elite rapper his fans say. He did this on Red Button, the desperation track he had to hurry and get out after Not Like Us and Now Again. He probably did it a lot more, but I don't got time to check. Neither do I, but I do think this is interesting. This is what ChatGPT wrote when he said, write me a Drake freestyle. And it said, my thoughts deep, caught up in contemplation, turn my hustle into global domination, focus on the craft, no hesitation, every move precise like a calculation. Really is a calculation. Came from the struggle, that's my foundation. Now I'm building dreams of dedication. Never lost sight, kept my concentration. Stayed true, never need validation. I don't give a fuck about your validation. They throwing shade, seeking confrontation, but I rise above with elevation. Set the tone, I'm the new vibration. In my zone, every bar's innovation. I really wrote that shit. Like, you gotta admit, this sounds really easy on the ears. Which kind of brings me back to the Mos Def So many skews. Like this is good lyricism to shop to. Late nights drowned in meditation, plotting every step for the celebration. From the basements to the coronation, I'm the voice leading the generation. Real shit. And that's all as far as I got. I'm sick. Then it starts to use some of his own lyrics to kind of reinforce that. I mean, you could read this for yourself. Maybe this is when he starts to get back into his I'm writing by myself, get out the studio bag. I don't need no OVO sweatshop. Maybe that's what this is. The Heart Part 6 does the same thing. Preparation, decoration, desperation, information, destination, investigation. You literally can write all these rhyming words out or go to Rhyme Zone and just look at them and just be like, oh, that's a whole verse right there. That's just for the folks that write. Interesting that we're here. Hilarious. Okay, can we go back to this since I didn't cover this? I mean, we're not going to talk about this in full, but I do think that it only supports my narrative or supports, the thing that I'm seeing, in that there's a lack of accountability here, and there's a lot of blame that he's throwing to everybody else. A lot of justifying about what just happened, and not a whole lot of accountability. Here he is on Aiden Ross's stream. Aiden Ross, if you don't know, is one of the largest young streamers that are out here. Somebody that I think is very out of touch with a lot of culture, a lot of hip hop culture, but he is someone who does platform for a lot of rappers, and labels do call him up or have called him up to have their rappers go on his platform and leverage his audience, because he has a large audience, to talk about their projects, their relationships, and all the other shit. Well, around Christmas time, when Drake was giving out to his supporter base, when he was, giving folks cash prizes and, rewards and all these different things, he was doing a lot of great work for the people out here. So shout out to him. In the midst of this, he couldn't just make it about the event. It had to find its way into other stuff. Here you get Aiden Ross saying that rap was dead this year. It seemed like everybody who was saying that rap was dead is either a big supporter of that guy. But continue. And then this is what Drake's response was.
What's the vibes? What are you listening to?
Music-wise?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you and P&D to drop that album, which you told me it was going to drop 3 weeks ago. You lied to me.
I know, you're right. It's coming.
Okay.
All right.
Can I hear the album tonight?
Yeah, you can actually, if you want.
All right.
It's pretty much there.
Rap's dead, bro. I'm sorry. It just is.
Let's not go there.
We don't got to go there, but it's dead.
Let's not go there. You know what? Honesty it'll never die.
Keep it on the full cam. Not die as far as like full on die.
It'll never die. What do you mean?
Music's just dry right now, bro. Like, chat, who do y'all listen to right now, bro? Nobody's dropping shit. I don't know, bro.
It was a weird NBA season. That's all it was,
It's all right.
It was a weird NBA season, is what Drake just said. I'm sick. I'm done here. I'm done. DIY. I very well know that my coverage of Drake has alienated a good chunk of you that have been on my channel for some years. I don't give a shit. This is a line in the sand in not only hip hop culture, but just culture in general. And there's a lot of people right now that I feel like are exposing themselves and their lack of understanding to what's actually going on right now. I listen to this and it sounds good. There's no denial about how it sounds. Like, first of all, shout out to Conductor Williams, because Conductor Williams has been a part of some mess already by just providing some very soulful and amazing production. But the more that I listen to this lyrically, you could give this to somebody else and you'd be very interested and be like, yo, who was that? Who was that? They sound really good. But because of the year that Drake has had, but because of the lack of accountability, the him not just taking his break. Do y'all recall there was a time before all this where he was talking about, touring had took a number on him? He was talking about the health issues that were coming up because of that, stomach issues, I think it was. These are things that we should all be aware of as artists and as performers and as folks that are, putting our lives on the line in our own kind of, way or whatever, to provide the art to the people. And to take these ridiculous tour dates and work these ridiculous hours, he never took that break. Instead, he engaged in a war that you would need to be at full strength just to be semi-competitive. And not making no excuses for no man, but it's like, fam, this continuous public diary writing, you sound like Doug. Dear diary, Patty Mayonnaise is being a hater. Skeeter doesn't want to be my friend anymore. I think it's because he's purple. When in all actuality, if you would have just took this time to be silent, which I don't know if you're allowed to because of all the shit you got going on with UMG and now Spotify and the cases, I feel like you would give people enough time to miss you. I'm not even a fan of you, and I can see that. I think you people would have enough time to miss you. Then if you came back, cut the braids off, I think this rollout would work a little differently. It's just unfortunate that it took something like this for your fans who loved your introspective music, your fear era of music. It's a shame that it took you having to be ripped from your throne in order to sit down and make something as personable as this. I'm not the one that knows the most about the catalog, but the things that I have heard over the years, because my wife is a big fan, just doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It just don't hit the same. She even said it. She said it don't really hit the same no more. I wonder why that is. DIYers, those are my thoughts on a fighting Irish freestyle. You let me know what you think. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't be greedy. Peace.